Good afternoon. Today's date is April 24th, 2019, and this is a Hello Rookie podcast. How you doing, Chris?
Good, man. Everything feels bright. Just back to normal, back to the way it should be.
Okay, and right into today's program. To our 3 subscribers out there, if you received a couple of emails that we were going live, we had some technical difficulties. Chris is dealing with his
so many technical difficulties.
His ISP.
Yes. With Spectrum, Bright House, whatever. Dealing with them. Dealing with issues with the mirroring and the computer and the stream and Streamlabs and OBS, and it's all, yeah. We're good though. We're live.
Always something. Yep. Something about living on a island off from a peninsula.
Mm-hmm. People aren't supposed to live here. There's no doubt about that, but it is what it is.
Okay, so let's get straight to it. Quick recap of last night's dueling lineup. Right? Yeah. Okay, so Chris won last night. Beat me. So he put up 243.25, and I put up 212.25.
Mine actually cashed in cash games, which is shocking to me. But I guess, what happened to our lineups happened to everybody's with blowouts, right? You didn't have players playing in the fourth quarter in 2 of the games. So,
yeah, so, 243 is pretty solid. What I'm seeing is an average of about 300 being pretty...
Yeah, so 300 is the target number with 6x value.
300 being the target number. Chris came pretty close, and I fell way short. Chris was more well-rounded. His T. Craig had a less sucky game than Bryn Forbes, for one thing. But also you got 35 points out of T. Harris, 26.25 out of J. Poeltl. DeRozan only had 24.5. I was expecting a little more out of him. I was expecting a little bit more out of McCollum. He had 26.5.
Nothing in the first half for him.
Yeah, he was...
that's the other thing is, how do you predict when Dame is going to do what he did last night? That game winner was stupid. He was so hot. Did you see his game winner yet?
Whose?
Damian Lillard's.
I saw that he went the hell off. He had 70 plus. I didn't see his
roasting. He had 50 points, 32 in the first half, something like that. And then the game winner, which here, I'll pull it up while we're going over everything. You got to see this shot. It doesn't make any sense. The only way you shoot this shot is if it's going in. So he was just feeling it.
Yeah. So he had 10 threes, like you said, 50 points, 3 steals, a block, 6 assists, 7 boards. So he had 77.75 fantasy points last night. Russell actually had more, 79.75. Triple double.
All right, look at your screen here, Joe. Here it is. Let's go ahead and get me off. All right, here we go.
Timer. Under 5. Lillard wants the 3.
Oh my goodness.
Yep.
Lillard had himself a night, didn't he?
There's no reason to shoot that shot like that. That was crazy. And then, Paul George called it a bad shot after the game because Paul George was on him because he destroyed Westbrook the entire series. But George is on him, so George called it a bad shot at the end of the game, and he's getting all kinds of grief for that because that pissed Lillard off. Obviously it's a terrible shot, but he's just in the zone. And George should know the shot or the game clock in the situation there and be a little bit tighter. Like, even if it is a terrible 40-foot crazy shot, he should have been tighter, knowing that there's 2 seconds on the clock and that's his only option at that point. But
yeah. Paul George had a game himself, especially in the first quarter.
Yeah. He loves playing the Blazers.
He ended with 50.75 points, 9 boards, 3 threes, 36 points. So the guy that won Hello Rookie last night, the Hello Rookie contest, which you failed to enter your lineup in, had Lillard, Jamal Murray, who put up 45, LeVert, who put up 28 fantasy points. I'm talking. Aminu, how do you pronounce that? Aminu?
El Farouk Aminu.
Aminu had almost 20. Podol had 26. Russell, 79. Torrey Craig, 15. And Inez Cantor, who had 38.75 fantasy points. That's 13 boards, 4 assists, 1 block, 13 points. Double-double.
Yeah.
So, interesting set of games last night. I needed more.
Given the blowouts and the fact that Damian Lillard just went nuts, it was really, really hard to have a night like that without having Lillard. You had to have Lillard in a 4-game slate where one guy goes crazy and 2 games are a complete wash because all the players limit out at like 20, 25 minutes.
Exactly. It's just picking those stars. Especially.
Yep. There's a lot of luck involved with that slate last night, that's for sure. But good on him.
Yeah. I needed more out of Bryn Forbes. He only put up 6. Then I was expecting a little bit more out of Ibaka. He put up 21.5. Danny Green actually put up 21.25.
Danny Green had he played well.
Yeah. A couple of threes, 5 boards, some assists and steals. And Jared Allen put up 20.75, which I wanted 20 out of him, but I'm a big fan. I'm not getting off the Jared Allen wagon. I think he's trending up. Nowhere but up. We shall see though. Okay, so let's start talking about tonight's dueling lineup. Do you want to start segment on that? Let's do that.
Sure. Fantastic.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, Rookie here. Getting ready to start our NBA dueling lineups for tonight's slate. 2 games on the slate only. Okay, who you got coming at me tonight?
All right, so real quick before we jump into lineups, pull up the Action Network and look at what's going on. Utah opened up an 8.5 point underdog at Houston. The Clippers opened up a 14-point underdog at Golden State. The Houston line has stayed the same at 8.5. The Golden State line's at 14.5. And clearly, given what's happened in these playoffs, all the money is once again on the favorites tonight. 77% of the money is on the Rockets and 82% of the money is on the Warriors. Looking at the totals, 212.5 Houston Utah game, 233.5 for Golden State game. The under is very popular in both of them. Neither of these series have hit the total that they're currently at more than once. So, under very popular, both of them. So, and I would tend to agree with the public on both. I don't know how you take an underdog when favorites are covering every night. And again, these totals are a little bit high right now. Money line numbers are stupid. Minus the Warriors opened at minus 1250, and they got bet so hard it's now at minus 2000, which is I don't know what people are doing with that. That's crazy. Okay, so
Entertainment fee.
Let's build a lineup here. I have
let's do it.
I created the contest already. You can find it in the lobby, but if not, link below the video, link in the article. Joe, I'll email you the link.
I'll postage mail it to you.
All right. Point guard. We're gonna have the same guy here. Rubio.
Yes.
Shooting guard. The beard. Small forward. Durant.
Yes. Yes.
Power forward. Draymond.
I didn't go Draymond. I varied it up, but I did have him in there.
At center, I've got Favors.
Yep.
At guard, it is what it is. This is why the showdown is better. 2 games, there's not a lot of options out there. I'll start with utility. I have PJ Tucker. At guard, I have Patrick Beverly.
Me too. Son of a bitch. I thought Beverly would be my X factor.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Oh, no. I screwed this up. I have to have...
I'm not telling you shit. You don't have it done already? Or
No, I have it done. The positions were just out of order. You have to have them, so I need
Okay.
a center in my utility.
All right, I
with
got you.
The big Australian, and then PG Tucker at forward in the forward spot. So Rubio, Harden, Durant, Green, Favors, Beverly, Tucker, Bogut.
All right.
Are they incredibly similar? Or
Yeah, I mean they are. We have three differences.
Okay. Well, that's more than enough for me to kick your ass again, I guess.
I mean it is. It is enough to have a difference.
I mean that just goes to show that these are cash lineups. So if you're building a GPP, I would probably, swap Draymond out for Montrezl Harrell.
Yeah, I like that.
Do some things like that. Maybe avoid Bogut. He'll probably be heavily owned. Let's pull up Fantasy Labs real quick. So Fantasy Labs, I like to at least look at the ownership numbers here. So 41 plus for Curry, Lou Williams, Kevin Durant, James Harden, Montrezl Harrell, J. Michael Green, or J. Michael, I don't know why I did that. Rudy Gobert, and then you've got Clint Capella 36-40, Gallo 36-40, Draymond 36-40, Bogut 26-30. I don't know why people are Clay 26-30. That's crazy. Ingles, I don't know why that either. Rubio 21-25, Tucker 17-20, Beverly 17-20. Like, not a ton of variety. So you got to kind of I think you got to get a little creative.
Yeah, I would agree.
To win tonight. Maybe a Andre Iguodala or a Royce O'Neal, Kevin Looney maybe.
That's what it's going to come down to, man, is those cheap 1 or 2 players.
I'm kind of surprised that you're on Favors. I thought for sure you'd have. Do you have Bogut in your lineup?
No.
Looney?
No.
Okay. Well,
I'm really stretching, man, to be honest with you.
I hope the guys we have different. I hope yours are mostly Jazz and Clippers players. Then I'd feel really good about my chances tonight. They are, aren't they? Oh man, that feels good. I can't believe you're not in on Donovan Mitchell. You were all over Donovan Mitchell after his 2 games in Utah.
I actually had him in. I was going to do it, but I was like, you know what?
Yeah, smart move. I don't think in Houston. We can go through a couple of these. So you have Harden, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So one of the reasons I like Harden tonight, he's one of those guys. He's 7 points per game better at home, and if you look at the series game log, it's held out. He's averaging over 63 a game at home versus right around 50 on the road in this series. So back at home, and if you look at home road splits, the guys that really matters to, I would say Donovan Mitchell has been better at home in this series, not so much over the course of the season, but Harden, and then some of the energy guys are better at home as well. But Draymond Green is a guy that we both have. Game 3 was a blowout. So when you're looking at Clippers or
I don't have Draymond in, but I do like him.
Okay. So Game 3 he put up 36.5 in a blowout, so 36.5 in 30 minutes. One of the reasons I didn't go with Montrez is it seems like the Warriors have, we were on Looney in the episode 1 of Dueling Lineups, both of us were, thinking he would get more playing time with Boogie out. Didn't happen. I think they like Draymond on Montrezl Harrell because Harrell tore them up in the first 2 games. Boogie goes out, and he hasn't done anything since. I think it's because they're playing Draymond on him more minutes, which has really slowed Harrell down. I like Favors because of his ceiling. That's why I have him in.
Me too.
His minutes make him a Joe pick. I can't stand playing guys that are right at 20 minutes per game, but he's giving like 1.5 fantasy points per game. If you scroll down to the regular season, he's got 8x plus upside in several spots. He's already hit 7x once in the series. He's gone over 6x twice in 4 games with a 4x floor. So he's a safe pick, but it's hard to be a safe pick at 20 minutes a game. It's, which I don't get. I don't understand why they're not using him more. Clearly, he's a matchup problem for whoever the Rockets put on him, which has been, PJ Tucker or Clint Capella, depending on what the rotations have been. But he shot 57% in Game 4, 83%, 64%, 62%. Really active on the glass to get 2 double-doubles in a series where averaging only just over 20 minutes per game is pretty crazy. So I don't understand the lack of playing time for Favors, especially when they're not getting beat by Capella or PJ Tucker, so he's not a liability defensively. But anyways, I think do you have JaMychal in your lineup tonight?
I do.
Yeah, so I think people are all over him. The problem with JaMychal is the matchup for me. He's guarding Kevin Durant on one side, and on the other side, he's just so limited offensively, and he's not that active. Like 7 rebounds in the last 2 games combined. As a starter, I don't want to rely on JaMychal Green to get 15 points against the Warriors on the road in a game where he has to guard Kevin Durant on the other end of the floor. So that's why I didn't start him. But I do think he'll be really popular tonight.
I don't particularly love him either, but with only 2 games and the other plays that I made with my lineup, I had to do something. And if he's starting, I have an interesting play here that you're going to hate. But
Gallo again?
So I did JaMychal and Ibaka.
Who?
Ibaka Zubac.
Oh, you can't play Zubac. He didn't even play in the last game. I'm gonna give you a second here to change that before we go over your lineup.
I'm gonna stick with it, man.
He didn't even step on the floor in Game 4. Not a minute. Which is weird because he had 18 and 15 in Game 3. I mean, you can stick with it. I don't care what you do. Easy wins. But, all right. Other than that, Beverly, obviously another guy with a high ceiling, low floor in the
Why
series.
the hell did... All right, I'll have to look at that more.
I don't know why he didn't play. It doesn't make any... Well, I kind of know why. I don't know. It's a matchup thing, so they can't play him on Draymond. So if Draymond's playing the 5... But I don't know. I don't know why he didn't play at all. It's definitely a matchup thing though. Anyways, yeah, Beverly high ceiling, low floor, really struggled. But again, this is a blowout. This Game 3, you can almost. I'm not gonna say you can throw it out, but that game was over early. He only played 18 minutes. Struggled on Durant. They moved him off Durant, bringing JaMychal in to the lineup for Game 4, and he was back to be very active, very productive, 42 fantasy points in 36 minutes. He's a solid play tonight, so I don't know. Call it a cash game lineup. It's a 2-game slate. It's not exciting. There's not a ton of variety. There's not a lot of room to be creative when these are shortened benches. The starters are you know what the minutes are. You know what the matchup is. I don't know. A lot of luck involved with these two-game playoff slates. So,
yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Well,
you want to go over yours? I mean, we have to go over it. So if you're gonna go, with
I'll
Zubac,
put it up.
Are we going Zubac?
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with him.
All right, here we'll just build it here, and I'll re-enter mine.
Unless I see that he's like out or something. I mean, I didn't know that he didn't play the last game at all.
All right, Rubio, Harden, Durant.
JaMychal Green, Ivica Zubac.
Oh boy, Zubaca.
Steph, favors in Beverly.
Well, you used all your salary, so that's a good thing.
There you have it.
All right, so here's the thing: if you decide to do a panic late swap, we will allow the Looney swap out. Same
All right.
salary, it would work, right? You
All right.
you
I'll
think
look
about that though, and all right, I like it
Yep.
though. Jermichael, I think he's going to be very popular tonight. I think.
Yeah.
And you got Steph in there, so that's nice.
Go big or go home, man. I'm playing to win. I wanted, I just hate looking at these games and seeing the stars that go off and then being like, okay, why the hell didn't I play him? I hate that.
Yeah.
So,
well,
Rubio, I think, is going to do his thing, be a freaking workhorse again,
with
take
Rubio,
to the rack.
It's another, which one was it? But these two games right here are, sorry. Games 1 and 2 were blowouts. They were annihilated. But yeah, he's averaging almost 6x in the series, and he's a playoff monster every year.
And they're frankly not a lot of others.
Chris Paul's not going to hit value at 7,100.
Outside of Mitchell, I mean, they're looking for Rubio for a lot of points. I mean, maybe Mitchell goes off again, but other than that, I mean, Rubio's a very solid play. Harden is going to be Harden. Jermichael, again, he's getting a start. Who knows what he does, how many minutes he ends up getting, but he's shooting.
The crazy thing with Jermichael Green is his shooting percentage. He is, where is it? 8 of 13 from 3 on the series. Really shooting the ball well.
Mm-hmm. The other thing that I just want to make note of that I put a decent amount of weight into the home and away, like you were talking about earlier. When I was going through these.
So you wanted the 3 superstars at home. So you paid up for Steph, you paid up for Durant, you paid up for Harden, and then you filled in around them.
Basically, yeah.
Yep. Oh, I like it. I like who you ended up with filling in around outside of Zubac.
I'll just mention a game note, I guess, with Beverly. A lot like Draymond, one of those guys that you absolutely hate to play against. One of those guys that you love is it on your team, but you hate to play against. Very emotional player. I'm actually surprised that his points aren't more volatile than what they are. He doesn't seem to have a huge ceiling outside of his last game of 42 fantasy points, which he had a double-double. Hit the boards more often than usual. We'll see. Hopefully, with their backs up against the wall and Golden State coming out swinging and looking to put him away, hopefully Beverly has a standout game at 4,400. I think could be a tremendous value.
Yeah, the Clipper that I was so stressed building I wasn't stressed, but I was like, I worked so hard trying to get Lou. I just have a feeling Lou is going to have a bounce back game tonight. Like a potential 40+ point game in a loss. But again, he hasn't done that. He hasn't had, he had 36 in game 2, and then he was super quiet at home in 2 losses. But yeah, I really wanted to get Lou in. I feel like it's a potential bounce back game for him.
Great field goal percentage last time at Golden State, over 500.
Yeah, he played well in Oakland, but
6,900.
Yeah, so if I was putting together a GPP lineup, Sweet Lou would be in. I don't know, maybe you take a shot on a guy like Ingles or somebody to bounce back. But yeah, hard to get away from some of our plays today if you're just looking at the numbers. Yeah.
It's on, man.
Yeah,
game 4. Hello, rookie DFS dueling lineups.
Yep. Good
Looking
luck.
to come back. I need to tie up this series.
Yep.
All right, close segment.
I'm way ahead of you, man. You don't even need to say it. Like, I'm just in and out of these seggents. So
yeah,
smooth.
I don't need to say it. Things get real smooth when I don't talk about closing and opening segments. All right, so want to go into NHL?
Sure.
All right. Open sesame.
Okay. Thanks for telling me.
And we're back. Hello, Rookie here. Time to talk about the NHL. We got we went 1-for-1 last night, as it were. The Bruins.
Oh my God. I know you didn't watch hockey. It's just disappointing at this point.
I saw a little bit of it, not much,
No.
but so yeah, Bruins beat the Maple Leafs 5-1 to move on. Maple Leafs are out.
It's a sad story for the Maple. I mean, I love it because I personally am so sick of Toronto being the center of all of the NHL Network and NHL Radio's coverage. Like they hire these homers to do their It's all right. I'm not going to get on a tangent, but it's so annoying. I'm glad they're out though. I don't have to listen to Riley being the best defensive player in the NHL anymore. But
Don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out, Maple Leafs.
Yeah, a couple weak goals by Boston got through. Toronto was arguably the better team the entire game. Turnovers, they're a mess defensively, and then couple mistakes by the goalkeeper. I'm not sure how the first goal got in. The guy is all over the post, but somehow left a tiny little hole, and the puck found its way in. But that's playoff hockey. It's nothing like what happened to Vegas. I don't know if you saw what happened to Vegas, but oh my God. That's the worst beat I think I've ever seen a hockey team. But it's fitting. Like Vegas fans deserve it. I'm sorry. Like you don't get that team 2 years into its existence. It's not fair.
The Sharks move on.
Yeah.
The Knights pack it in. A lot of people's favorites now.
Yeah. So 3-0 in the third period. The Knights are up, dominating the game as they've dominated the series. And it's not even a cross-check. It shouldn't have even been a 2-minute cross-check. And the officials, who I don't think the officials have been good in these hockey playoffs, and I usually am a huge fan of NHL refereeing. But they called basically a game misconduct. They called a major. So basically, what ends up happening is San Jose gets a 5-minute power play that doesn't end. So usually, if you score on a power play, a typical 2-minute minor, if you score, the power play is over. Well, San Jose, as a result of this bad call, gets a 5-minute major, which Pavelski got knocked out, but it was his own fault. He fell kind of awkwardly on the play. Anyways, that's their captain, their leader, but Pavelski for the Sharks. So the Sharks rally. They get this 5-minute power play, and you can just sense it, right? Like these guys are pissed off now because they think on their sideline that Pavelski took a cheap shot on a bad cross check, got knocked out. He was knocked out cold, bleeding on the ice. And like 5 seconds into the 5-minute power play, they get their first goal, and the coach is on the bench. He just turns to his guys and says, "That's one." 55 seconds later, they get their second goal. They come out of the 5-minute power play. They're up 4-3. They score 4 goals, up 4-3. Vegas has to pull their goalkeeper, Jonathan Marchessault, who had a great series. Comes through with the keeper out to tie it up and force overtime 4-4, and then San Jose steals it in overtime 5-4. Unbelievable game, unbelievable series. That was a crazy game. Vegas, I cannot believe
it. Sounds nice, man.
Yeah,
that's
we
what
got another one
tonight.
We get to do it again tonight. Please just turn it on. It's your home team. It's in Raleigh. Actually, it's not in Raleigh, but in Washington.
I actually just got an email from the Hurricanes.
Yeah.
Must be related to Twitter somehow. Yeah, make some noise. Game 7 is here.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll turn them on.
Yep.
All right, tonight at 7:30. Yeah. Okay. Game 7.
Yeah. So obviously everybody's all over. I haven't looked at it, I have looked at it, but I haven't looked at it in a couple hours. Everybody's all over Washington. What is it now? 84% of the money's in on Washington. The line opened Washington minus 135. It's up to minus 155. They can't get any money on Carolina. Open plus 115. It's at plus 135.
At Washington.
Experience is on Washington's side. The thing is that, I've been saying, and you're probably sick of hearing me say, is that Carolina is beating their heads in this series you look at, all right, so this is icy data. You look at the Corsi and Fenwick numbers, right, which are two of the more important. Actually, we can do it this way. So let's just kind of look at these shots. This is Carolina. This is Washington. 29-18, they outshot the Capitals. 28-33, they got outshot. 45-18, 24-31, 30-28, outshot them again. 36-25, outshot them again. Here's your Corsi. These are advanced analytics. This is just to read it. Above 50% means the team was controlling the puck more than not with this player on the ice. It's actually team in this case. With so these are overall team Corsi numbers. So this is showing like possession, quality possession. Like these analytics directly translate into wins. The Corsi, and you look at, so this is Washington. The opposite is true for Carolina. So Carolina had 70% in this game, 52 here, 65 here, 54, 58, 63. You look at overall for the playoffs, they lead every team in quality possession. And again, another key metric, face-off zone, Carolina is winning that. You look at offensive zone starts, Carolina is dominating that number. They have controlled the series, but somehow it's gone to a game 7, and now they have to go to Washington and beat Ovechkin in a super experienced team on the road in a game 7. I don't know. It's going to be fun. I think the better team might lose the series, unfortunately.
So who are you putting your money on?
I would put, all right, given plus 135 Carolina, minus 155 Washington, I would take the better team in the series and the less experienced road team. I wouldn't put anything significant on it, but I'm not going to take the worst team and play minus 155 with them on a money line. I don't know. I don't love it one way or the other. It's going to be fun to watch for sure.
Close segment.
All right.
NFL draft talk.
Sure. One day away. Is it Wednesday? What is the day today?
Today's Wednesday, yeah.
One day away. You want me to open a segment?
Yes, let's open a segment.
Oh, you're such a bitch. All right.
And we're back, ladies and
No,
gentlemen.
hold on. I restarted the segment because you're being a bitch. Okay. Ready?
It's a nice shirt you got there.
Go blue.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're here to talk about the NFL draft starting tomorrow in Nashville, Tennessee. I imagine there's going to be coverage all day, as there has been for the past couple months. It never stops, really. But, yeah, so...
Some weird coverage, right? Like you're getting a lot of misinformation.
Yeah, Fox News covering NFL draft could see Oakland Raiders make surprise pick at number 4. What else have you been seeing? Who's trading up? Who's taking a QB?
Yeah, it's been. I don't know. Who do you believe is the question? Trying to get this app to load on my phone right now. There we go. Yeah. So is Kyler going number 1? Is he not going number 1? I don't know. I have my opinion on it. But I'm kind of. I don't know how much of the Cardinals you watched last season.
Little.
Rosen had the worst offensive coordinator in the NFL. Then they fired him and replaced him with a guy that was just as bad, Brian Leftwich. He was behind the worst offensive line in the NFL. He got his ass kicked every single game. Sat in the pocket though. I mean, he took the beating, and no weapons around him, no offensive creativity. They couldn't figure out how to use David Johnson. Yeah, like I said, he got his what kicked the entire game, and every single week out, and he just sat in the pocket, delivered ball after ball. Like I don't know, it's not fair to me, but I think they're going to take Kyler. I really do. I wouldn't, but I think
NFL NFL.com has a little poll up for who Arizona is going to take out of Kyler Murray, Nick Bosa, or Quinnen Williams. Kyler Murray leads 68%, Bosa at 23%, Williams at 9%. I don't know how many participants are in that. Obviously, it doesn't mean much at all, but interesting.
Yeah, well, here's FanDuel's updated lines, and they have Kyler at minus 400, which has moved around. I've seen it minus 350, minus 450. Obviously, it was minus 10,000 just a week ago. Minus 400 right now. If it wasn't Kyler, I think it'd be Nick Bosa. So that'd be the bet there. But that line has moved around. By the way, anyone that's looked at FanDuel will have gone over these NFL draft bets. They redid them in the last 48 hours, and it's pretty cool. The new format, lots of options there. We can run through real quick, and these are really easy. First X taken. A lot of them are no-brainers. So Kyler, Josh Jacobs. This one's interesting because I think all three of these guys are in play. Metcalf, Brown, Metcalf, Marquise Brown, or A.J. Brown, and I really think it might be Marquise Brown now. This one's a done deal. Hockenson, I think he's going number 9. First center drafted, done deal. Bradbury for sure. There's some value in this one because I think Andre Dillard's the best left tackle in the draft. Jonah Williams has inside flexibility, so if a team needs a guard and a tackle hasn't come off, obviously Juwan Taylor is a heavy favorite. Likely going to Jacksonville. And then Cody Ford's another guard. Super physical run blocker, can play inside, outside, very athletic. He's another guy in the mix. So I think any one of these four could go. First defensive lineman drafted, very easy, Nick Bosa. The interesting thing here is that the Jets seem to love Ed Oliver. So if something were to happen where a team traded up to 2 to get one of the quarterbacks, or Kyler went 1, and if someone were to trade up to 2 and take someone other than it, because it seems like a defensive lineman is going to go 2, 3, 4, Ed Oliver could end up being the first defensive lineman drafted if he falls to the Jets and it goes quarterback somehow. Devin White, easy. I think Devin Bush is another guy that possibly could go in the top 10, but Devin White's easy.
Hey,
yeah, go ahead.
Who did you say might fall to the Jets?
I said they might take Oliver if it goes quarterback, and they're left with the decision between Quinnen Williams and Ed Oliver.
Gotcha. What about Josh Allen? Not in the mix.
I don't think they would in that case. I don't think they would take him anyways. I don't think Josh Allen's going 3. I think he's going. Well, we'll have an official hello rookie mock draft. Cornerback is the really interesting one. I think Brian Murphy is the most NFL ready. Rocky Sin has been super popular as of late, but Greedy Williams has been the top one off the board for a while. Yeah. Interesting the new FanDuel layout though. All right, you want to take a look at my. Let's see if this works. We haven't used an app mirror in forever. Oh, I just got to move a little. All right, so this is an app called Mockout. It's pretty cool, actually. You can do mock drafts and challenge your friends, whatever. This is the one that I did this morning. I have Kyler going 1 to Arizona. I don't know. I don't know what to believe there. I would hope that they do the right thing. If a team can get Rosen for a second round pick right now, it's such a steal. And so, if you're that general manager, he went in and beat on the owner's desk and said, Rosen, we need to trade up to go get Rosen last year. And he went out and played as tough as he did last year, played well given the fact that, his leading receiver in many games was Ricky Seals-Jones. And now you're going to go to him this year and say, oh, we need to redo it. Or we need to, we're starting over. We're going a different direction. We need Kyler Murray. I don't know. I don't love it, but it looks like Kyler's going to be the number 1 pick. Bosa 2, Quinnen Williams to the Jets at 3, Ed Oliver 4. I mean, when you're betting these draft props, I feel like you have to bet them based off of the player. Where you think the player should go, more so than because there's going to be so many trades and so many surprises and so many reaches and so many a guy's going to fall that no one saw coming. I think the one that would be a bit of a surprise is maybe Metcalf to 20, but for sure Brian Burns at 21 to Seattle. That's very late for him. All right, but I have Devin White. I think looks like he's a lock to Tampa Bay. Great fit. Quan Alexander's gone. They need a linebacker. Great linebacker history there. Seems like a no-brainer. Then I have the Giants going Josh Allen at 6. I think they want an edge rusher, and if Allen's there, that makes sense for them. Jawan Taylor is a really popular spot for him to go. And then I think Detroit takes a bait with Montez Sweat, the freak athlete. There's 2 Mississippi State guys in this draft that I think are going to be Pro Bowlers, with Montez Sweat. And then later in the draft, Jeffrey Simmons going to Indianapolis here. Jeffrey Simmons is I would say when I watch his film, I would say he is a top 5 pick in most drafts. But there's defensive line depth in this draft, and he might be out for the entire season next year. So he's got a couple of things working against him, and he may drop to the bottom half of the first round. I've seen him in the second round. That's not going to happen. He's way too talented. 9, Buffalo. I have them taking T.J. Hawkinson. He's already a top 10 tight end in the NFL. Completely turnkey player. And Clay is in where I don't even know where Clay is playing now. Oh, Clay's. I want to say he's in Arizona. 10, Denver, Drew Lock. They're in love with him. Best arm in the draft by far. Best arm in the draft. He's QB. He's NFL ready in my opinion. He's played in the SEC for 4 years.
The Giants don't like him. They can get better value at 6.
I'm convinced the Giants think they can get Allen or maybe Sweat or Gary, whatever pass rusher they like at 6, and then come down at 17 and get Daniel Jones. And I really think they like Daniel Jones. He's a guy that certainly would accept playing behind Eli for a bit. Is a lot like Eli in the way he plays, just more athletic. The cool thing with Locke and Jones is Locke runs a 4.69 40. Jones runs a 4.7, so both guys are athletic. Locke's arm is explosive. Jones is a prototypical, if you pull up the quarterbacks that have won Super Bowls in recent history, how many of them do their teammates say, is a quiet leader, doesn't say anything? How many of them transferred their freshman year because they didn't start as a true freshman? How many of them, there's a bunch of things that if Kyler is successful, he'll be the first person with that background. It's the same thing with Baker Mayfield. How many Super Bowl winning quarterbacks grab their nuts on TV or curse into a camera after a game or do all the stuff he does? It hasn't happened. And maybe it will. Maybe these guys will change it around, but I don't know. Daniel Jones is already, he has that NFL quarterback mentality. All right, so then I have back-to-back Michigan players. Cincinnati grabbing Rashawn Gary, best edge player available at that time. The funny thing with Gary, right? He's an insane combination of size and speed, unheard of. Number 1 player in his senior class in high school, and he gets bragged on for not producing at Michigan. And every time I hear that from a scout or from a so-called draft expert on ESPN or whatever, they clearly haven't watched the games, because he got double teamed every single down at Michigan. And anytime a team didn't double team him, he was in the backfield making a play, tackle for loss, quarterback hurry, whatever. All right, then Green Bay would be tripping over themselves to pick Devin Bush at 12, given what has happened to their linebackers over the last couple of years, or specifically this offseason.
Josh's boy, Devin White.
Yeah, I have him going 5 to Tampa Bay.
Okay.
13 Miami, Jonah Williams, probably a right tackle. He'll probably play guard. He'll probably be a Pro Bowl guard in my opinion, but Alabama offensive lineman. Christian Wilkins, 14 to Atlanta. 15 I have Dwayne Haskins. I think Washington can stay where they are and get their quarterback. They really like Dwayne Haskins. So I have him going 15 to Washington. I think that's a popular. I think I've seen a lot of people talking about Washington trading up to get him. I think if they stay where they are, given, unless someone trades up in front of them, I think they can get him. 16 Carolina, I mentioned Andre Dillard earlier, best pass blocking left tackle in this draft. Washington State, everything just is smooth with him on film. Doesn't allow sacks, always in the right spot. Arguably the best run blocking right tackle in the draft, Cody Ford. Could play guard, great athlete, moves really well. Lindstrom, best center in the draft, not even close. Tennessee needs help on the interior of their line, especially given how they want to play with their run-heavy offense. They need help on the interior. Lindstrom would be a solid pick for them, easily the best center available. Pittsburgh, DK Metcalf, replacing Antonio Brown. He's more, at this point, why am I drawing a blank now? The big play receiver for Pittsburgh a couple years ago. Went to the Raiders this season. Anyways, he's not Antonio. Doesn't run great routes. Not polished as a receiver. Doesn't have great hands, but incredibly athletic. High points the ball well. Watching Ole Miss with him and A.J. Brown, who is the leading receiver in the SEC, both on the field, they double-team Metcalf consistently. 25 yards a catch his last year at Ole Miss. Injury concerns are the biggest thing with him. I think he had 2 or 3 seasons cut short with injury. So, 21 I mentioned already. Brian Burns slipping to Seattle. Obviously, they need pass rushing help with the Frank Clark trade to Kansas City. 22 Garrett Bradbury, another center off the board early, going to Baltimore, another team that needs help on the interior, given the fact that they're abandoning the pass as well. Houston, go ahead.
NC State,
Yep.
Bradbury.
23 Greedy Williams. So he's the first cornerback off the board for me. I wouldn't be surprised to see Brian Murphy or Rock Ya-Sin. All 3 are first-round cornerbacks in my opinion. So kind of late to have those 3, that talented. I think it's a deep draft. I don't know. One of those 3 could go in the top 15. All 3 could go before 23. I wouldn't be surprised. But I have them going pretty quickly here. So Greedy Williams, 23 Houston, 24 Clelin Ferrell. Oakland needs a pass rush, and they need to improve their secondary because their defensive numbers last year were historically bad. Bottom of the league in QB, opponent QB efficiency, bottom of the league in yards per game, bottom of the league in touchdown interception ratio allowed, completion percentage allowed, just about anything you could be the worst in the league at, they were. So getting a pass rush with guys like Farrell and Ed Oliver would help. And then I have him taking Brian Murphy at 27. We talked about Jeffrey Simmons, 26, 25. The Eagles have a huge need at safety. It makes sense for them to go Abram there. Marquise Brown to the Chargers. They just lost Tyrell Williams this offseason, so they need a big play receiver to replace him with. Marquise Brown. Liz Frank injury hasn't worked out, but scouts that just watch the film on him think that a lot of them think that he's a top receiver in the draft. Similar to DK Metcalf in that he's not the most polished receiver in the draft, but super vertical threat. Reminds most people that watch him of Deshaun Jackson. Rock Ya-Sin, we talked about. Seattle lost their nickel corner, Byron Maxwell, to Detroit this offseason. So Yeah, they need to replace him. They need secondary help. They already got a pass rusher at 21. 30, Green Bay, Noah Fant. A lot of people have Green Bay taking a tight end earlier in the draft, or taking Noah Fant with their first pick. If he falls this far, they would be pretty lucky to get a tight end from Iowa like that runs a 4.5. Great route runner. Would be super active in the passing game. 31, Dexter Lawrence. Another Clemson defensive lineman off the board. Defensive tackle to the Rams. They replaced Ndamukong Suh, who's gone. And then 32, I had the Patriots taking a chance on a guy that had a rough week at the combine. Character issues, struggled with some interviews, some effort issues on the field, but when he was locked in, I thought polite. I mean, he does some things that are uncoachable against both the pass and the run. When he's engaged in a game, he is elite as a defensive end. And I think Bill Belichick likes those kind of guys that he can get that out of just by coaching them up. So polite to the Patriots. But again, a lot of people have them taking a quarterback with that pick. So who knows?
It's going to be fun to watch. So it looks like it starts at 8 p.m. tomorrow night.
Yep.
I'm sure it will be widely viewed.
Yep.
See who goes number one. Good breakdown. Close segment.
Yo, it's closed, Joe.
All right. Final thoughts. I just thought that we would recap last night's NBA games. We already did that. And then I just have Zurich Classic a couple of tee times. There's not really much else that we can talk about with the Zurich until it starts, right?
Yeah, we broke that down.
So I guess.
Oh, John Rahm. That's our pick. Or you. I guess you haven't made a pick, but I went Rahm. You have a team you like in the Zurich?
I mean,
front runner.
I like that. Who's Cantlay playing with again?
Cantlay is playing with. Oh, come on. I don't know. Patrick Reed.
Yeah, I kind of like that.
Yeah.
I like that pick.
Yep, Cantlay, Reed, and then you got the Australian team. Day, Scott. That's the favorite.
Yeah.
And then Sergio's playing with Tommy Fleetwood. Koepka brothers. The Spanish-speaking duo of Abraham Ancer and Jonathan Vegas.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun to watch. It's a shame that we don't have fantasy and I don't know.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, so 7:30, 7:26 to be precise tomorrow morning, the Koepkas tee off, and Jason Day and Adam Scott have an early tee time at 7:39 a.m. along with Rahm and Palmer at 7:52 for a few notables. Oh, Stanley and Finau are also at 7:52. That'd be a fun pair to watch too.
Yep. Bombers.
Yeah. All right. I don't think we have anything else, man.
To hell with it then. End it.
You happy?
No. Never.
Anything you want to add?
Nope.
That's all we have for today, ladies and gents. Thank you for your viewership, and don't forget to like, share, and/or subscribe to Hello Rookie on your favorite platforms. Also, visit HelloRookie.com for all the latest daily fantasy and sports betting reviews, promotions, strategies, and lineups. Peace.